All right, so what are we going to do today? We are going to talk about mutual funds, the basics and their terminologies, some concepts like SIP, STP and SWP. Now SIP तो बहुत famous concept है, systematic investment plan, but systematic transfer plan and systematic withdrawal plan, ये भी very good ways of investing in mutual fund है, which I will speak to you about. Asset allocation, ये आपने अगर वर्ड पहले सुना है तो वेरी गुड, नहीं सुना है तो आई विल मेक थिंग्स मोर क्लियर इन एसेट एलोकेशन, हाउ इज इट यूज्ड एज अ फॉर्म ऑफ रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, एंड लास्टली वी विल टच अपॉन टैक्सेशन इन म्यूचुअल फंड. सो ये अपना एजेंडा है फॉर द नेक्स्ट 45 मिनट्स टू 1 hour. नाउ द आइडिया इज आई कैन स्पीक टू यू थ्रू द चैट. So जैसे I have written message that we will start at 7:35, we will start in the next 2-3 minutes. So whenever I want to communicate, I will communicate through the chat box. लेकिन आपके लिए chat box is disabled because we are just now in webinar mode. Okay. So in webinar mode, if you want to ask me any questions, there is a section called Q&A. तो आपका जो भी मोबाइल होगा, लैपटॉप होगा, डेस्कटॉप होगा, wherever you are logging in, वहां पे नीचे आपको ये बार के अंदर Q&A दिखेगा. So in Q&A, please feel free to keep on typing your questions. Once I finish the entire presentation, I will first answer all the Q&A questions which are there. Then I will open the call and come to you in conversation mode, जहाँ पे आप सीधा unmute करके मुझे कोई भी question पूछ सकते हैं. Okay, so that is going to be there for today and for all the other 4 days which we are going to spend together. So let's get started. Okay, अच्छा. So mutual funds. Now mutual funds, very popular these days. They are a first sale product. They are a first recommended product when anybody is talking about investments. Now I'll tell you why. Mutual funds में लोगों ने बहुत पैसा डाला है and लोगों ने SIP के माध्यम से they are investing month on month, each month. The SIP collection in India is increasing and increasing and increasing. Just to give you some facts and figures, SIP collection of all mutual funds in India put together currently is approximately 13,500 crore per month. कितना सर? 13,500 crore per month SIP के माध्यम से म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री में आ रहा है. Now because of this, in the last 4-5 years, ये इतना पॉपुलर हो चुका है that people are investing month on month. And this time a very interesting thing has happened. Mostly क्या होता था in markets, when the markets were going up, people used to invest, and when the markets were dropping down, people used to take out their money. This time it has not happened so. The retail investors are realizing that when markets are falling, it is not the time to get out, it is time to stay invested. It is time to in fact add a little more money so that you can average out the cost. तो ये जो concepts आस्ते आस्ते develop हो रहे हैं, as a result of which if you see world across markets are in turmoil, लेकिन Indian market अभी तक इतना गिरा नहीं है. We have come down and we have again gone up and we are again in that range territory, but we have not fallen as the world markets have fallen. So mutual funds are a very major component now in the market. So they are high awareness, they are high on repeat purchase. I am sure people on the call, however people, जितने लोग मेरे अलावा ये कॉल के ऊपर है, आपने कम से कम म्यूचुअल फंड में कहीं ना कहीं कभी ना कभी इन्वेस्ट किया होगा खुद का पैसा, या रेकमेंड किया होगा, या कम से कम सुना तो होगा कि म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है. Okay, so you must have at least heard. Now there is a awareness campaign which is going on TV, which is mutual fund सही है. So you have nowadays Sachin Tendulkar and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, उनकी ad आती है, they are playing tennis and the referee wants to get into the mutual funds. अगर आपने वो ad देखी है. So mutualfundsahihai.com is a campaign by AMFI, Association of Mutual Funds of India. So India के सारे mutual fund में से 1111 member constitutes AMFI. So in India currently there are about 44 mutual funds. So AMFI में currently 44 members हैं at this point of time. So 44 mutual funds have come together and they are trying to bring this awareness to people. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of ads on TV. So mutualfundsahihai.com is a website जिसमें for starters, so people keep on asking me on the call, people who are new, कि सर हम कहाँ से information लें? mutualfundsahihai.com is a very good site to start with. So I'll give you names of 2-3 websites also which you can go and refer. They are free websites, information is free, there is no cost attached to it. Just make a user ID password and you can take your education on that website. Okay. Mutual funds can meet multiple requirements and diversification needs of investors. Very, very high engaging product. And what is your advantage with wealthy? आप mutual funds wealthy के साथ क्यों करोगे? So mutual funds solutions which are offered by wealthy, we have got a tracker, we have got a portfolio approach. So there are different portfolios for different types of investors, which I will speak about when we come to asset allocation. Then there is something called as a smart switch option. There is something called as a book your profit option. So बहुत सारे ऐसे options available है inbuilt. You don't have to do anything much. Okay. So just follow the wealthy recommendations and absolutely you can make money for yourself and for your clients. Okay, let's go ahead. But before we get into all this, let us understand a bit of basics of mutual funds. So for anybody who is into mutual funds and who is doing it, ये आपके लिए थोड़ा सा repetitive होगा. But for people who are completely new, this is the session to attend, you know, because I will give you perspectives about mutual fund right from scratch. Okay, so जैसे कि आप आज ABCD सीख रहे हैं mutual fund का, वैसे मैं आपको आज कराऊंगा. Okay, so see to the right hand side of the screen. Okay, there is a small diagram. So एक investor होता है. Investor obviously is a person who wants to invest his money. It can be individual, it can be company, anything. Just now let us stick to individuals. So let us say I want to invest some money. When I want to invest, my idea is that the money should grow. So investor will pool the money with a fund manager. So it's what is a mutual fund? A mutual fund is a box. It's an imaginary box. Okay. Physical box nahi hai, it's an imaginary box. It's a box on the system. So a mutual fund is an imaginary box where investors can pool in money. How much can they pool? Minimum they can pool sometimes 1,000 rupees a month, sometimes 500 rupees a month, sometimes as low as 100 rupees a month also. So certain schemes go on minimum 100 rupees a month. Certain schemes go minimum 500 a month. Certain schemes go 1,000 rupees a month. तो सारी scheme में जाता है. Okay. So as low as that amount and as high as sky is the limit. आपको जितना डालना है उतना डालो. Mutual fund में upper limit, upper ceiling कुछ भी नहीं. आप जितना भी चाहो उतना डाल सकते हो per month. Okay. So you can invest per month. You can invest lump sum. You can invest per day. You can invest every quarterly, 6 monthly, whatever you want. Okay. So they will pool in their money. Now, where does this money go? It gets collected in this virtual box. There is a fund manager. So every fund will have a fund manager. Now, understand this. Fund manager is just not one person. We think a fund manager एक ही आदमी होगा. नहीं, एक आदमी नहीं है. उसके पीछे there is an entire team. So fund manager takes the final decision. Yes, agreed. However, there is an entire team behind this science. So there are research people, there are analysts, there are brokers, there are execution people. Okay, there are people who recommend different stocks to them, different bonds to them. Okay, there are economists. Okay, in that team. So ये पूरी की पूरी team जो होती है, they give him information. They tell him, sir, ये stock लेना चाहिए, नहीं लेना चाहिए, ये bond लेना चाहिए, नहीं लेना चाहिए, वगैरह वगैरह. So they give him recommendations. Ultimate decision is of the fund manager. Nowadays, you have in one fund sometimes 2 or 3 fund managers also, because everyone has his or her own expertise. So ये भी आजकल एक बहुत अच्छा trend mutual fund में शुरू हुआ है. Now what they do is they invest in securities. So invest in marketable security. It's a completely transparent industry. Okay, whatever they invest, they will tell you. Whatever the portfolio is there, they will show you. So it's a completely transparent industry. सब कुछ आपको बताया जाता है. Okay, they invest in securities. These securities obviously will generate some return. उनके लिए कोई तो कोई return बनाएंगे, and these returns are passed back to the investors. तो ये पूरा जो चक्कर है उसमें how does the mutual fund make money? So every day there is a price of this fund. ये price को हम कहेंगे NAV. So NAV is the price of the fund. I'll just write it in the chat box. NAV is the price of the mutual fund. हर दिन का ये भाव है. Okay, so NAV is the price of the mutual fund. Now ये जो price होती है, every day it fluctuates and every day it changes. So mutual fund adjusts their charges, adjust their fees by adjusting the NAV. तो वो लोग NAV adjust करके अपना खर्चा निकालते हैं. ओके अच्छा, एंड वंस द एनएवी इज डिक्लेयर्ड इट इज पास टू द इन्वेस्टर. इन्वेस्टर अगर रिडीम कर लेगा तो उतने अमाउंट की उतनी नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स पे उसको पैसा मिल जाएगा. सो लेट मी एक्सप्लेन दैट टू यू व्हेन वी कम नेक्स्ट. सो दिस इज हाउ एंटायर गैमेट ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड ऑपरेट्स. नाउ देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड. सो अलग अलग प्रकार के म्यूचुअल फंड्स होते हैं. सो लेट मी स्टार्ट विद द इजीएस्ट. तो मैं नीचे से शुरू करता हूं, गोल्ड फंड्स. सो लेट अस से somebody wants to invest in gold today. Yeah. So any one of you wants to invest in gold. How will you do? Traditional way of investing in gold is we go to a jeweler, we buy some ornament. ये अच्छा लगा मम्मी को, सिस्टर को या डैडी को या किसी को भी, and we go and store it. We buy it and we put it in a box. Now when we put it in a box, obviously we don't want the box to be at home, so we put it in a bank locker or what. Now there are all these additional charges. सबसे पहले तो आप लॉकर डालते हो तो लॉकर का चार्जेस होता है. आप गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट्स में लेते हो तो देयर आर मेकिंग चार्जेस, देयर आर डिजाइन चार्जेस. दिस इज व्हेन बाइंग. व्हेन यू आर वांटिंग टू सेल दैट देयर आर ब्रेकिंग चार्जेस. सो दीज ऑल आर डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ चार्जेस. सो यू से सर ऑर्नामेंट्स नहीं बाय करते, लेट अस बाय कॉइंस. ओके, let us buy coins, let us buy biscuits. Now when I buy coins and I buy biscuits, they are nowadays vacuum sealed, because gold अगर ऐसा ही पड़ा रहेगा तो उसकी वैल्यू कम हो जाती. So the idea is they are into vacuum sealed. When they are vacuum sealed, there is obviously a cost of vacuum sealing which is inbuilt into the price of gold. So अगर मुझे ये सारी एक्स्ट्रा प्राइसेस नहीं पे करनी है, मुझे फी नहीं पे करनी है, जो बैंक मुझे बेच रही है या जो मुझे कंपनी बेच रही है वो अपना मार्कअप भी उसमें चार्ज करती है. Now I don't want to do all this. I just want pure price of gold. As simple as that, because I am investing in pure gold. Then I come to something what we call as gold funds. So when I invest in gold funds, they invest in 24 karat 99.9 purity wale gold ka rate. That's it. So the rate keeps on fluctuating up and down. My fund NAV will also keep on fluctuating up and down. Gold funds के अंदर दूसरा और कुछ नहीं होता है. There is no equity, there is no other bond, nothing. It is pure gold. Similarly, nowadays silver funds are also very attractive. Okay, so you have gold funds, you have silver funds, more commodity funds slowly coming. Okay, so this is the simplest to understand. Next we come to debt funds. Now when I talk about debt funds के अंदर there is no equity. Okay, so when I say equity, stock market, shares, stocks, that is equity. And when I say debt funds, there is bonds. So whatever we understand from bonds मतलब सर FD जैसा, हाँ FD जैसा, but FD is not tradable, जबकि bonds are tradable. So if you have any FD at your house, चाहे it is from a bank or it is from a company, FD के ऊपर लिखा होगा not transferable, not tradable, not negotiable. These are all words. तो आप FD को ट्रेड नहीं कर सकते. Okay, so FD cannot be traded, but a bond can be traded. Now different companies, whenever they want debt, whenever they want money from the market, they will take money and they will issue a bond. Now this bond is traded from one party to the other party. So debt funds के अंदर there are bonds. Now bonds have different maturity. अवधि कितनी समय तक का bond? So minimum bond is 1 day. So one bank takes udhar from another bank. It's debt market. Debt means loan. So one bank takes udhar from the other bank. भाई मुझे एक दिन के लिए पैसा चाहिए, आज इतना पैसा दो, कल मैं तुमको इतना पैसा एक्स्ट्रा लौटा दूं. Okay, so this is the daily cash dealing which the banks do. Okay, so there are debt funds which 1 day maturity, sometimes 2 day maturity, sometimes 9 days maturity, sometimes 14 days maturity. Okay, sometimes up to 91 days maturity. So these are completely called liquid instruments. They are called liquid instruments or they are called cash instruments. They are as good as cash. They are as good as actual money. Okay, क्योंकि उसमें default होने का chance ही नहीं. It is bank to bank. There is a collateral security attached to it and all that. तो उसमें कोई default या कोई problem होने का chance नहीं. These are the safest funds. Mind you, not guaranteed. They are safest, and I'll tell you how. जैसा आगे जाता हूँ. Then there are different bonds. तो खाली ये knowledge के लिए रखिए. Don't get deeper into it at this point of time. Okay. Then there are different debt funds with 1 year maturity, 2 year maturity, 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, up to 40 years in maturity. So ये अलग अलग bonds की जो maturity है, ये maturity के हिसाब से आपको debt funds मिलते हैं. So in debt funds, the main idea is to preserve your capital. Again, they are not saying guarantee. Preserve your capital and generate some income out of it. That's the idea of a debt fund. The most happening and the most popular are equity funds, जिसके अंदर आपका पैसा जाता है stocks and shares में. So stocks and shares are different companies which are there in the market. Now within that, there is an active fund and there is a passive fund. So what is an active fund? What is a passive fund? Active fund is a fund जिसके अंदर fund manager will try and generate return higher than the benchmark index. Now benchmark index is a comparative index. मैं जब कभी किसी का कंपैरिजन करता हूं, I compare him peer to peer. So if I were to compare, so if a father has to compare results of a 7th standard boy, he will compare it with another boy or girl who is in 7th standard. He will not compare it with somebody who is in 10th standard. He will also not compare it with somebody who is in 2nd standard. So this is called benchmarking. Mutual fund में इसका नाम है benchmarking. Benchmarking मतलब comparison. So I'll just write this word here. Benchmark index is compared index. And when I say index, it is a collection of securities, equity or debt. So index is a collection of securities. For example, हमने इंडिया में सबसे फेमस है सेंसेक्स. Sensex is top 30 companies of India. So it's a collection of 30 companies. Nifty 50, National Stock Exchange का जो हमारा दूसरा इंडेक्स है. We have two big stock exchange in India, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. Bombay Stock Exchange का इंडेक्स है Sensex, which is very popular. You must definitely have heard or seen. आज Sensex 1000 पॉइंट गिर गया, 1000 पॉइंट बढ़ गया and so on. Nifty आज 200-300 पॉइंट ऊपर नीचे गया, 500 पॉइंट ऊपर नीचे गया. So Nifty is National Stock Exchange pay the most popular index is called Nifty 50. It is a collection of 50 securities. Okay. So whenever active fund manager is there, he tries and gives you returns better than the index. वो risk लेके अपनी research लगा के सारा कुछ अपना formulas, magical formulas लगा के he tries and gives you returns higher than the index. Sorry, not magical formulas. He uses calculation. Okay, mathematical formula, that's the right word. So he tries and generates higher interest or higher money or higher wealth. So that is called alpha. Okay, just याद रखिए ये, इतना कोई don't get into the rocket science of it. Okay, so fund manager is responsible to generate alpha within active funds. Passive fund same mirror the index. So मेरा Sensex 30 के जो कंपनी है मुझे same 30 कंपनीज में रखना है. This is a passive fund. So if I have an index fund जिसका नाम है index fund and it is Sensex plan, it will have same 30 companies. If I have an index fund and I have Nifty 50 plan, it will have the same 50 companies. Okay, so index fund में जैसा जैसा रिटर्न इंडेक्स देता है वैसा वैसा रिटर्न मेरा फंड भी देगा. Okay, but active fund management में obviously my fund manager will give higher return. So the obvious question is इंडेक्स फंड में क्यों डालने का? हायर रिटर्न चाहिए ना, जरूरी नहीं. हायर रिटर्न मतलब हायर रिस्क ऑल्सो. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट. सो हायर द रिस्क, हायर द रिटर्न. वेरी क्रूशियल कंपोनेंट. हायर द रिस्क, हायर द रिटर्न.